Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new on here, my name is Philip and this is Phil Reacts. Yes, today we have Florence and the Machine. You guys already know they are back, we with a new album titled Everybody Scream. And I feel like after everything, Florence Welch, has been through, I mean, the rumors, the silence, the emotions, this really feels like her rawest and the most, hauntingly powerful record yet. Put this out there. I have already heard a couple of songs off of this album. I've heard Everybody Scream. I've heard one of the greats. I think I've heard Sympathy Magic. Yes. I mean, she dropped them as singles, so I'm already familiar with these three songs, but I'm super stoked. I'm super happy, to sit here and listen to the album, in its entirety. Looking here, the album has 12 songs. Yes, 12 solid songs, and playtime, is like a 49 minutes, 49 minutes, 39 seconds to be exact. So this is going to be a hell of a ride, hell of a journey, I must say. And I'm super excited, to be doing my first Florence and the Machine, album reaction. Yes. So before we dive in, if you love, real music reactions, deep dives, and honest reviews, smash that like button, hit that subscribe and ring the bell, so you don't miss the next one. Yes, guys. So without wasting much time, without further ado, we go into the first song titled Everybody Scream. Yes, that's the title track for the album. Put this out there, like I said, I've already heard it, but I'm super excited to be sitting here and listening to it all over again. The lyrics, everything pulled up, just in case I might need for my interpretation, So let's take a listen, guys. Okay. Yeah.
Get on the stage and I call her by her first name. Try to stay away, but I always meet her back at this place. She gives me everything, I feel no pain. I break down, get up and do it all again, because it's never enough. And she makes me feel loved. I can come here and scream as loud as I want. Everybody dance! Everybody sing! Everybody move! Everybody scream! Here I don't have to be quiet. Here I don't have to be kind, extraordinary and normal all at the same time. But look at me run myself ragged, blood on the stage. But how can I leave you when you're screaming my name? Screaming my name. I will come for you in the evening, ragged and reeling, shaking my gold like a tambourine. A bouquet of brambles, I'll twist it and tangle. I'll make you sing for me, I'll make you scream. Everybody dance! Everybody sing! Everybody move! Everybody scream! Here I can take up the whole of the sky, unfurling, becoming my full size. And look at me burst through the ceiling. Aren't you so glad and the misery, madness and the mystery. Oh, what has it done to me? Everybody scream.
Okay, guys, yes, so that was our first song, Everybody Scream. Like I said from the beginning, this is one song that I've already listened to. I listened to it, when she dropped it as a single, prior to this album release. Guys, right from the very first second, this song, started playing, you are hit, with this eerie blend of beauty and a bit of chaos. I love the fact that the song, opens, with haunting layered vocals. Florence's, voice, almost whispering and wailing, at the same damn time. Before the drums and choir-like harmonies, crush in. I mean, it's definitely that signature Florence, mix of elegance and then fury. The production feels massive, but still organic. You can tell it was, built from, big spaces like, cathedrals, theaters, and maybe even nightmares. I mean, let's be honest. Florence Welch, has one of the most distinct voices, of our generation. I mean, on this song, Everybody Scream, she doesn't just sing. I love the fact that, she commands. She goes from, soft vulnerability to this, almost, primal scream. That sends no chills, no down your spine. It's not just powerful, it's purposeful. You can hear the emotions bleeding through every single note. Her control is absolutely insane. Even in her most explosive moments, there is precision. To me, it's not chaos. It's pure catharsis. Yes, like I said, I had the lyrics pulled up, and I feel like the lyrics, hit hard. It's about pain, it's about pressure, it's about release. But also about rebirth. There is this sense of being trapped inside of your body, inside expectations, and finally letting it all out. Certain lines in there like, everybody scream, because it hurts, to be alive. I mean, if I caught that right, I mean, that line, feels raw and universal. Florence now is always, written about the intersection, of religion and womanhood, and emotional intensity. And this one, continues, that legacy. I have to say, I mean, it's theatrical, but it's also real life. You can definitely sense, she's been through something heavy, and this song, feels like her reclaiming her voice and her rage and her power. I also have to give the props, to the production team. Shout outs to them. I mean, the mix of orchestral elements, with distorted, percussion, definitely gives it ritualistic, gothic folk vibe. There's a choir that feels both angelic and terrifying, like you are witnessing a sacred ceremony gone wild. There's that more than indie texture and that Florence's I mean mystical core. I mean the strings and reverb to me I mean makes it feel cinematic. But I loved it. I definitely loved the song. This song isn't just a song that I mean, you listen to, in my opinion, it's a song that you experience. Florence and the Machine, they have always walked that fine line between chaos and beauty. And this particular song, Everybody Scream, might be one of her most non-filtered creations yet. Yeah, I loved it, guys. To me, this might not be a radio single. I mean, it's an art piece. It's for those moments. I mean, when you are tired of pretending you're fine, when you just need to let it all out. I'll definitely give this a 9 out of 10. I mean, it's raw, it's theatrical, and deeply human. So yeah, that's just my take. That's just my perspective about this one. Let me know, how you also felt listening to this song. I mean, did that scream, hit you like it hit me? You think this is Florence in the most emotional track yet, or do you still prefer the earlier works? Please drop your thoughts down the comment section and tell me what song, from this album, Everybody Scream, yeah, so let me know down the comment section. We are moving on to the second song, titled One of the Greats. Yes, this I've listened to. Let's take a listen, guys.
I called up from under the earth, broken nails and coughing dirt, spitting out my song. So bedraggled breath, I knew I came back from the dead to show you how it's done, to show you what it takes to conquer and to crucify, to become one of the greats, one of the greats. I kept a scream inside my chest, killed everyone I'd ever kissed, hung them on the wall like trophies, each name is stained upon my lips. I told the truth but could never see it through. You see yourself hung on the wall, but that song is not about you. I wrote down all my fumbling visions, transmitted by television, got everything I thought I wanted and cried, hung over in a hotel closet. Did I get it right? Do I win the prize? Do you regret bringing me back to life? Arms outstretched back from the dead, streetlights bursting overhead. Arms outstretched back from the dead, streetlights bursting overhead. I did my best, tried to impress my childhood dream made flesh. My dresses and my flowering sadness, so like a woman to profit from her madness. I was only beautiful under the lights, only powerful there. Burned out at 36. Why did you dig me up for this? Arms outstretched back from the dead, streetlights bursting overhead. Dead, streetlights bursting overhead. You'll bury me again. You'll say it's all pretend, that I could never be great, being held up against such male taste. Who really gets to be one of the greats, one of the greats? But now I've really done it this time. This one is all mine. I'll be up there with the men and the 10 other women and 100 greatest records of all time. It must be nice to be a man and make boring music just because you can. Oh, don't get me wrong, I'm a fan. You're my second favorite frontman, and you could have me if you weren't so afraid of me. It's funny how men don't find power very sexy, so this one's for the ladies. Do I drive you crazy? Did I get it right? Did I get it right? Do I win the prize? Do you regret bringing me back to life? Did I get it right? Do I win the prize? Do you regret bringing me back to life? Arms outstretched back from the dead, streetlights bursting overhead. Arms outstretched back from the dead, streetlights bursting, too feminine to function. A pile of bodies and a trail of destruction.
All right, guys. So yeah, that was the second song of the album. One of the greats. Yes, this is like my second or third time, listening to this song, and I have to say, I mean, after listening to this song, Florence Welch, she has, done it again. I mean, the moment the song, one of the greats, begins, you as a listener, you are pulled into this, haunting, cinematic world. That feels, both triumphant and fragile. Like standing on a, mountaintop, after a storm. I mean, right from the opening chorus, there's this grandeur that only Florence, can deliver. Echoing choirs, pounding drums, and that signature, ethereal production, that builds like a cathedral of sound. But beneath all that majesty, there's pain. You can hear the weight of self-reflection in her voice, almost like she is wrestling with her own myth. Lyrically, one of the greats, is Florence, looking into the mirror, asking herself, what it truly costs, to be the great. She's talking about ambition, she's talking about identity, and the loneliness, that sometimes, comes with being put on a pedestal. Honest, self-aware, and deeply poetic. You can tell, she's not just, chasing glory here. She is questioning it. Vocally, guys, she went in. Her voice, was just unreal. Florence, I mean, as always, Florence's voice, remains one of the most, powerful and emotive, in music. I love the fact that she doesn't just sing the song. She inhabits it. I mean, there are moments where her voice, cracks with emotion. And I mean, it gives me literal chills. It's the kind of delivery that reminds you why, she's one of the most captivating live performers, out there. The production, shout out to the producers. Guys, I have to say the production is massive, but it never feels, cluttered. There is this controlled chaos, that swirls, and, retreats, letting her voice, sour over reverb-soaked guitars, and orchestral layers. It definitely feels like a classic Florence and the Machine, yet somehow, more texture, more self-contained. Like, she's learned, to channel her storms into, channel her storms, instead of being swept away by them. If I had to, sum everything up, one of the greats, this song, isn't just a song. Definitely sounds like a statement piece. It's Florence, reclaiming her narrative and acknowledging the pressure, of her own legend, and turning that vulnerability into something beautiful. Is it her most experimental track? Not really. It stays true to Florence's sound. It's grand, it's spiritual, and emotional. But the songwriting is sharper, more personal, and that to me gives it the depth that longtime fans would definitely appreciate. Yes, this track, feels like a conversation between past and present Florence. The wild, untamed performer. We first met in a wiser, battle-tested artist, she's become. It's theatrical and intimate, all at once. For me, I'll definitely give this a hard 9 out of 10, just because this is gorgeous. This song is definitely gorgeous, emotionally raw, and quintessentially Florence the Machine. Yes, so let me know what you guys also think about this one down in the comment section. Is Florence, reflecting on her own legacy here, or, is this song, speaking to all artists, who have, sacrificed something, chasing greatness? Drop your thoughts, in the comments, and I'd love reading your interpretations. Yes, we are moving on to the third song, titled Witch Dance. Let's take a listen, guys.
Over my legs, lie down with death. We kiss, we sigh, we sweat. His blackberry mouth stains my nightgown. I put him close, wrap my legs around, and it tastes like life. I twist, I bite, the foxes shatter in the night. Show me the way, this feeling leaves the ache, the kick, the need. Show me the way, this feeling leaves the ache, the kick, the need. Shimmering landscape, widen my eyes. Can I keep all this beauty forever? went to the ancestral plane, but they all showed up drunk and insane. When I asked what I could offer them, they said gin and tonic or lithium. They asked which way should I go, and through cigarette smoke they said, child, how would we know? Show me the way. This feeling is the ache, the kick, the need. Show me the way. This feeling is the ache, the kick, the need. Sigh beyond reason. Ruinous thing. A stranger came to my door, and I welcomed him in. My feet are bleeding. I cannot stop. I am many, many miles. The air to I came to a clearing full of wailing and keening, a well of tears that never runs dry. The women said, we've been waiting, waiting to meet you. It's only a matter of time. Thrust my fists in the ground, and the earth made a moaning sound. I could feel something shudder deeper, deeper down. And I met every monster from the bar to Broadway and all their violent offers. I just turned them away. And your threats and your promises, they don't scare me. After all, there's nobody more monstrous than me.
Okay, guys, so that was the third song, Witch Dance. Yes, I have to say, after listening to this song, I have to say that Florence Welch, has officially stepped into her witch era, and I mean that, in the best way possible. This track, Witch Dance, from this album, Everybody Scream, is pure spellcraft, not the broomstick kind, but the kind that gets inside your bones and makes your soul move. I love how the song opens with this eerie, almost ritualistic hum. A blend of layered vocals that sound like a choir, summoning something ancient. Right from the first few seconds, you as a listener, you are not just listening to a pop song. You are definitely entering a spiritual experience. Florence, I love the fact that she doesn't just sing to you. She sings through you. I don't know if that makes sense. Yes, but I love the vocalist. She really, really went in lyrically. Witch Dance, feels like a conversation with the shadow self. It's dark. It's mystical, and yet oddly freeing. You can feel the themes of healing through chaos. Something Florence, has always, been brilliant at, if you ask me. I love the way she uses witchcraft imagery, not just as a gimmick, but as a metaphor for empowerment, transformation, and the messy beauty of reclaiming your pain. Yes, the production, definitely have to talk about it. I love the fact that this production, it's both cinematic and primal, there is this deep pulse and percussion that feels like a heartbeat during a ritual. Then the strings and choral harmonies come in swirling around like smoke. It's chaotic in moments, but that chaos feels intentional, like a storm cleansing everything in its path. Florence's vocals, they are as always, absolutely otherworldly. I love the fact that, she doesn't hold back. She wails, she breathes, she chants, and whispers like she's performing, an exorcism, of emotion. It's powerful but never overdone. There's a raw, almost, possessed energy, that keeps you hanging, on every single word. Now, being fair, I will say this track, might not hit, everyone. If you prefer her more polished or anthemic tracks, like the first, few songs that we've listened to, I feel like this one, might feel a bit too wild or experimental, but for longtime fans, for anyone who loves when Florence, leans, into her darker, theatrical side, Witch Dance is definitely a masterpiece of mood and meaning. By the end, you don't just hear the song, you feel like you've been through it. It's cathartic, it's haunting and beautifully human. I mean, Florence has a way of turning pain into poetry, and this track proves once again that she is one of the most fearless artists in modern music. Yes, yeah. So Witch Dance, is not your typical single. It's definitely an experience. It's Florence, channeling, her artistry in its rawest form. Emotional, unfiltered, and spiritual. It's definitely a dance, with the divine feminine. With darkness and with rebirth. If this is what this album, is if this is what everybody screamed this album is bringing, then we are in for something magical. Yes. So that's just my thoughts. That's just my perspective. Let me know what did you feel when you heard this song, Witch Dance. Do you prefer this darker ritualistic Florence, or her earlier ethereal sound? Which lyric or moment hit you the hardest? Please drop your thoughts down below. I'll be reading your interpretations. Yes, we are moving on to the fourth song, Sympathy Magic. Yes, this one I've heard. Let's take a listen, guys.
Memory fails me, names and faces blur. There is only after or before. Am I so different? Have I changed? I do not recognize my face. The scar fades, but pulls inside, tugging at me all the time, chewing on a feeling, spitting it out, crouched in a ball gown, anxious and ashamed, vague humiliations of fate. I do not find worthiness in virtue. I no longer try to be good. It didn't keep me safe, like you told me that it would. So come on, tear me wide open, a terrible gift. Let the chorus console me. Sympathy magic, and the light coming in the window just so, and the wind through my fingers, the only God that I know. And it does not want me on my knees to believe. Head high, arms wide, aching, aching, aching. And alive, and alive. So I don't have to be worthy. I no longer try to be good. It didn't keep me safe, like you told me that it would. So come on, tear me wide
Okay, guys, the fourth song, Sympathy Magic. Guys, right off the bat, the production to me is hauntingly beautiful. You get this, pulsing rhythm underneath, almost like a, heartbeat, or a ritual drum. And then Florence's voice, just, floats over it. I mean, fragile 1 second, explosive the next. It's that perfect mix of vulnerability and power. That she does so well. The production, which by the way features Danny L. Howe, and Aaron Dessner, has that cinematic, Florence vibe, but I mean with a modern edge. There are these shimmering synths, textures, almost ghostly choral layers, and then the percussion hits like thunder. If you ask me, I mean you can tell it's been sculpted, to feel alive. Like every sound breathes. Yes. Lyrically, Florence's vocals here to me are insane. I mean, she's not just singing. It feels more like she's testifying. The way her voice cracks in certain moments to me feels intentional. Like she is, letting the pain be heard. Not polished. It's the kind of vocals that grabs you by the heart and doesn't let go. Honestly, few artists can make a line sound both divine and desperate. The way Florence can. Now, why am I asking, what is this song all about? Lyrically, Sympathy Magic to me, feels like it's about reclaiming your power, after being broken. Maybe even after being misunderstood. I mean, she is definitely talking about pain. She's thinking about empathy and transformation, but in a way that feels mystical rather than pitiful. Certain lines in there, hits differently because I mean Florence always blends the spiritual with the deeply human. I mean, it's not woe is me energy. It's alchemy. I mean, turning wounds into wisdom. I don't know if that makes sense. Yes, but that's just what I think about this song. Yeah. To me, after listening to this song, Sympathy Magic, feels like a spiritual sequel, to Dance Fever, but more grounded in grief and rebirth. It's Florence, stepping into full priestess mode. Confident, emotional, and unafraid to show her scars. Cinematic is raw, and it's one of the songs that grows on you with every single listen. Yes. So yeah, Sympathy Magic, to me isn't just a song. It definitely feels like an experience. Florence and the Machine continues to blend the mystical with the modern. And honestly, I mean, she never sounded more emotionally clear. Yes, but that's just me. But I mean, that's just my take. That's just my perspective. But what do you guys also think? Did this track, hit you like a spiritual awakening, or do you miss the more indie rock Florence from the early days? And drop your thoughts in the comments and let me know what you think. We are moving on to the fifth song titled "Perfume and Milk." Let's go, guys. Okay.
Perfume and milk, the body in bloom, the falling leaves, the fallen fruit, the rot and the ruin, the earth and the worms. The seasons change, the world turns, the trees turn gray, and the land turns brown. In a house in the woods on the edge of town, bury it deep, swallow it down, taking the laurel crown, doing the work and sleeping alone, downloading revelations divine, love on my phone, trying to read but getting distracted, trying to live but feeling so damaged, and all shall be well, all shall be well. Miracles are often inconvenient, and a prayer is a spell. I packed my bags and I got in the car. a pilgrimage to wherever you are. April comes with its blossoms, beaten by rain. Oh, the hope and the horror singing daffodils again. The land it thaws and the leaves turn green, and the blue stars are snow glories with the winter jasmine, clothes of silk and satin, lace and leather, the one pink ribbon that holds me together. And all shall be well, all shall be well. Miracles are often inconvenient, and prayer is a spell. And I am changing, becoming something else, a creature of longing, tending only to myself, licking my wounds, burrowing down in a house in the woods on the edge of town. Well, healing is slow, it comes and it goes, a glimpse of the sun in a flurry of snow, the first green shoots in a sudden frost. Oh, something's gained when something's lost, the rot and the ruin, the earth and the worms, the seasons change, the world turns, the world turns. Perfume and milk, the body in bloom, the falling leaves, the fallen fruit, the rot and the ruin, the earth and the worms, the seasons change, the world turns, the world turns, the world turns, the world turns.
Okay, guys, the fifth song of Perfume and Milk. Yes, guys. I mean, as the track, starts, you immediately notice how intimate, it feels, compared to some of the, bombastic songs, on the album. I mean, this one is quieter, more reflective. The instrumentation, to me, I have to say, is delicate. Subtle piano chord, soft and percussive, element, and you can hear, Florence's voice in this really raw, vulnerable way. It's like she's whispering secrets directly to you. Florence's vocals, was just wow. It was just out of this world. I have to say. I mean, she has this ability, to make you hang on every single word. Even in this softer track, there's still that haunting power that just grabs your attention. The way I definitely love the way she transitions between her lower register and those ethereal higher notes. I feel like that's just breathtaking. You can really feel the emotions that she is channeling. There's obviously a vulnerability, longing, and a kind of mystical melancholy, all at once. I don't know if that makes sense. Yes, but vocally, that's how I feel about this song. Now, the lyrics are really, really fascinating. I mean, based on a few facts that I pulled up, she references revelations, of divine love, by Julian of Norwich, which is a 14th century text about spiritual reflection, suffering and divine love. That alone, tells you she's diving deep into themes of life, loss, and rebirth. Certain lines in there, the body, in bloom, the fallen leaves, the falling fruit, the rot and the ruin. I feel like those lines, evokes, cycles of nature, impermanence and transformation. I love the fact that this is poetic, almost like meditation wrapped in music. I loved it, guys. The production here is also, I have to say, is also understated but so effective. You've got these subtle textures, from strings and piano, and the way she's the sound swirls, at a certain moments, definitely gives the song the emotional lift without overwhelming it. You know, Aaron Dessner's, I mean, influence, so clear. There is this indie folk intimacy, mixed with Florence's theatrical style, creating a really balanced and captivating soundscape. Yes, my favorite part, around the middle, when everything pulls back and you are left just with her voice and minimal instrumentation. I mean, it's definitely spine tingling. It's the kind of moments that hits you as a listener. Hits you emotionally. Where you can feel every word. Every single note. And yeah, I mean, it's subtle, but it's also incredibly powerful, which is definitely a testament to Florence's artistry. Overall, Perfume and Milk, is a beautiful introspective track, that stands out, as one of the quieter, more emotional moments, of this album. Everybody scream. It's intimate, it's poetic, and hauntingly beautiful. If you ask me, I mean, if you are into, Florence's ability to mix the mystical with the personal, I feel like on this track, it's definitely a must listen. It may not have the big arena energy, of other songs, on the album, but I mean, it's just as powerful, in a very different way. So yeah, that's just what I think about this one. So what do you guys also think? Did Perfume and Milk, hit you as hard as it hit me? Is it your favorite track, on the album so far? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear your takes. Yes, we are moving on to the synth song titled Buckle. Yes, let's go.
Wanna call you on the telephone. I made 1,000 people love me. Now I'm all alone, and my resolve is sinking like a stone. What would I even say? I guess it's something that just never goes away. A crowd of thousands came to see me, and you couldn't reply for 3 days. 'Cause I'm stupid and I'm damaged and you're a disaster. When you walk into the room, oh, none of it matters. Oh baby, I just buckle my resolution in tatters. 'Cause I know it won't work, but make it ache, make it hurt. Keep me a secret, choose someone else. I'm still hanging off the buckle on your belt. Buckle on your belt. Buckle on your belt. Buckle on your belt. Then you close the door and leave me screaming on the floor. Oh baby, I just buckle. I can't take it anymore and let you walk all over me, honey. You make me think my therapy is a waste of money. Drinking it down, haunting your city, falling for anyone awful who tells me I'm pretty. I blocked your number, but you didn't notice. Oh God, I thought I was too old for this. I should be over it. I'm much too old for this, but I'm not over it. 'Cause I'm stupid and I'm damaged and you're a disaster. When you walk into the room, oh, none of it matters. Oh baby, I just buckle my resolution in tatters. 'Cause I know it won't work, but make it ache, make it hurt. I'm not better than this. Show me what I'm worth. Keep me a secret, choose someone else. I'll still be here, hanging off, I'm hanging off. Buckle on your belt. Buckle on your belt.
Okay, guys, yes. So that was the said song titled Buckle. And I mean, right off the bat, Buckle, hit you with this intimate and almost confessional vibe. Unlike some of Florence's bigger, more theatrical tracks. I mean, I feel like this one feels a bit raw, a bit personal and grounded. The production is subtle, but effective. It's not about huge orchestral sweeps or dramatic crescendos. It's about letting Florence's voice shine over a restrained haunting arrangement. You can hear the care in every note, every single pause. Lyrically, this song is heart wrenching. Certain lines in there. Like, I'm stupid and I'm damaged and you are a disaster and I am still hanging off the buckle, of your belt. That line really, really hits hard. It's about vulnerability, it's about emotional tension and that feeling of, being tethered, to someone else's in the chaos. I mean, Florence has this amazing ability, to turn deeply personal feelings into something everyone can connect with. That's one of the things I love about her. I mean, you can feel the tension, the heartbreak, and even the frustration in her voice. What's interesting is the contrast. She's talking about huge crowds and public attention, but the song definitely is so intimate, and it's like being on stage alone with your emotions, which makes it resonate even more. I have to say, vocally, Florence, is as always, I mean, she is mesmerizing. I mean, her voice, drifts effortlessly, from soft vulnerability to moments of, sheer intensity. I mean, it's emotional storytelling, at its finest. Instrumentally, this track, is understated, just enough, to support the lyrics, without overshadowing them. There is a subtle tension in the arrangement, that I feel like mirrors the lyrical theme of emotional imbalance. The minimalism, here, to me is deliberate, and it works beautifully. I mean, for me, the highlight, is definitely that chorus. It's heartbreaking and hypnotic, and you can hear every ounce of emotion in her delivery. Also the bridge where she almost whispers, keep me a secret, choose someone else. I mean, it's so raw and relatable. These are the moments that will stick with you long after the song ends. Overall, Buckle, definitely, to me, I mean, it's a standout track for me. It may not be the arena filling bombastness some Florence fans expect, but to me, it's a masterclass in emotional storytelling. It's intimate, it's vulnerable, and beautifully produced, I have to say. I mean, if you love Florence The Machine for the emotional depth of her music, this is definitely a track to add to your playlist. I'd love to know what you guys also think. Does this song hit you as hard as it hit me, and how do you think it fits into this album Everybody Scream? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Yes, let me know. We are moving on to the 7th song titled Kraken or Kraken. Please let me know down in the comment section. But let's take a listen.
Sometimes my body seems so alien to me. I quiet it down by watching TV, but grow restless and grow hungry as the water rises up around me. You come on screen, so good looking it's obscene. I put my fist into my mouth and scream. Some things it seems are catching up with me. And as it rises to my chin, I should really stop watching. And as I reach for the remote, it is rushing down my throat. I let it in, I start to swim. I grow many arms and legs, and then I start to sing. And all of my peers that had such potential, but the swamp, it took them down. And my love, I have to tell you, I kissed them all and let them drown. Drunken groupie, so when your hand reached out, I just pushed you further down. Where do you see me now? My tentacles so tender as I caress your cheek. Did you know how big I would become and how much I would eat? So glamorous and ravenous as I drag you off your feet. There's nothing you can do. Some things it seems are catching up with you. Around the mast as your ship starts cracking. Were you singing through the pain? Have you changed? Well, so have I. As I fix you in the gaze of my one unblinking eye, or do I terrify? And all of my peers, they had such potential. The swamp, it took them down. And my love, I have to tell you, I kiss them more than let them drown. See me, just another drunken groupie. So when your hand reached out, I just pushed you further down. Do you see me now? Do you see me
Guys, the seventh song, Kraken. Please forgive me if I'm not, pronouncing it right. But wow, guys, right from the first note, you feel the intensity. The opening is so dramatic. Almost like the calm before the storm. And I mean, and then it erupts into this powerful Lotta John life soundscape. Florence's voice are, of course, I mean, they are flawless, haunting, raw, and emotional. I swear, you can definitely feel every word she sings. It's like she's commanding the ocean itself. Her voice to me in this track, is so extraordinary. I mean, she moves seamlessly, between tender, almost whispering moments, and I mean, full throttle, screaming crescendos. The emotional delivery here, is intense. It's personal, it's a mystic, it's theatrical. I can literally, picture the Kraken rising, the depth, as she sings. The instrumentation and the production, of the song, was something else. I mean, the percussion hits like crushing waves. The strings, are dramatic, and suspenseful. And there is this undercurrent of tension throughout the song. I love the fact that it is cinematic in the best way possible. Almost like a soundtrack, to some epic mythological sort of story. You feel both small and empowered, listening to it, at the same time. The production really elevates the song, I have to say, guys. I mean, it's layered, it's textured, and theatrical, without feeling overdone. Yes. Now, the lyrics, I feel like this is where, Florence really shines. She talks about transformation, she talks about power, and even a kind of, release, from peers or pressures. All of my peers, they had such potential. I kissed them goodbye and let them drown. That's heavy. That's heavy stuff. I have to say, there's this blend of personal trauma, resilience, and I mean mythic, imagery. You really feel like you are witnessing a rebirth, or a confrontation with your inner monster, or in this case, the Kraken. Yes, the chorus absolutely hits. You can definitely feel it in your chest, and that bridge, that moment where the intensity drops, just slightly before the chorus, surge back. That was just chills, and I love how she balances the monstrous, powerful imagery with delicate emotional vulnerability. I mean, that duality is Florence and the Machine, at their finest. Yes, this song Kraken, I have to say, is theatrical. It's definitely cinematic and emotionally raw. It's one of those tracks that sticks with you long after it's over. Florence and the Machine, they have definitely gone and they have crafted a song that's intense, beautiful and completely unforgettable. If you're a fan of dramatic storytelling in music, this is definitely a mass lesson. My only note, I mean, it's so full on, that it might, overwhelm some listeners, But honestly, that's part, of the brilliance. I loved it. So that's just my take. What do you guys also think about this one down in the comments? Is this your favorite track, from this album, Everybody Scream, or do you prefer the more intimate, softer moments, of the album? Please, drop your thoughts down in the comment section. Yes, we are moving on to the eighth song, titled "The Old Religion." Let's go. Okay.
And the old religion humming in your veins, some animal instinct starting up again. And I am wound so tightly, I hardly even breathe. You wonder why we're hungry for some kind of release. So tired of being careful,
Guys, I love this.
so tired of being still.
Okay.
Give me something I can crush, something I can kill. A lightning strike, a fallen tree, and I'm afraid, oh, don't let it find me. But you had a run, yourself you see, and I'm powerless, so don't remind me. And it's the old religion, but the urge remains the same.
Okay.
Freedom from the body, freedom from the pain. And it's your troubled hero, back for season 6. When it's at its darkest, it's my favorite bit. And I am wound so tightly, I hardly even breathe. You wonder why we're hungry for some kind of release. Watch me crawl on hands and knees and scratch at the door of heaven. A lightning strike, a fallen tree, and I'm afraid, oh, don't let it find me. But you cannot run, yourself you see, and I'm powerless, I know, don't remind me. And it's the old religion humming in your veins, some animal instinct starting up again. And I am wound so tightly, I hardly even breathe. You wonder why we're hungry for some kind of release. I let you run, and I'm afraid, oh, don't let it find me. But you cannot run, yourself you see, and I'm powerless, so don't remind me.
Wow. All right, guys. Yes, the eighth song, "The Old Religion." Wow. I love this, guys. So this song, opened really, really hauntingly. Florence's vocals start, almost no whispering, over this delicate piano. But I mean, you can definitely feel that tension you're building instantly. There is this sense of something ancient, something ritualistic, like she's summoning something, from the depths of folklore. Right away, you are drawn into this, otherworldly vibe. The lyrics, are intense. Certain lines in there, any old religion, humming in your veins. Some animal instinct starting up again. Wow, guys, Florence is tapping into something primal here, if you ask me. I mean, you get the sense of old traditions, inner power, and maybe even a touch of anger, frustration, with the world. And it's not just storytelling, if you ask me. I mean, it feels deeply personal, reflective of transformation and reclaiming power. Based on a few facts that I pulled up, I mean, fans have noted this ties into her own experiences, and the overall theme, of the album, Everybody Scream. Vocally, Florence, I have to say, is in peak form. I mean, she's layered these airy, ethereal, harmonies with raw emotions that I feel like I hit you right in the chest. You feel every single note, every word, when the chorus hits. It's not just a vocal performance. To me, it's a full-on emotional release. I found myself, literally leaning in, like I needed to be closer to hear her, and that's the mark of a true, Florence and the Machine moment. Yeah. Instrumentation and the production of the song was out of this world for me. Musically, there is this primal heartbeat, to the track. Drums that feels ritualistic. I mean, subtle synths, adding tension, and the piano providing, a grounding, almost sacred atmosphere. The production by Aaron Dessner, and Florence herself, to me, is impeccable. Everything, feels intentional. You notice, how the layers, slowly build, pulling you into this emotional crescendo. That's, simultaneously eerie and mesmerizing. Guys, instrumentation of this song was just something else. Yeah. When it comes to, the standout moments, after listening to this song, honestly, it's hard, to pick just one, but the bridge, when she belts, over that, swirling instrumentation, to me, I mean, definitely, hits like a punch, to the soul, and the ending, the fading echoes, make it feel like, you are leaving a ritual you didn't know you were a part of, I love the fact that it's haunting. I love the fact that, it's beautiful and totally cinematic. I love it, guys. Yes. The old religion to me is a testament, of Florence and the Machine's evolution. It's dark, it's mystical, and emotionally raw. It's the kind of track that demands multiple listens to, fully, unpack, and even then, it leaves you thinking about it hours later. So yeah, if you are into music that's bold, that's ritualistic and emotionally charged, this one is definitely a mass listen. Guys, that's just my take, that's just my perspective, about this one. Let me know what you think about this song, Old Religion. Let me know how it made you feel, when you listen to it. Please drop your thoughts down in the comment section. I want to hear, how this track, hit you. Also, yeah. So we are moving on to the 9th song, titled Drink Deep. Let's go.
Through bramble and briar, under ash and oak, I went to find the hidden foe. They gave me gowns and riches, cut gold thread with their teeth. Every night I went to see them, no, I did not sleep. cup they brought to me, oh, you know I did. Drink deep, drink deep. My eyes began to hollow, my skin began to fade. What I thought was a night was 1,000 years. What I thought was a sip was 1,000 tears. But still they said drink deep. Drink deep. But the thread that they spun was a woman's hair, and the gown stitched from her tenderest flesh, and the cup that they brought up to my lips. I realized I drank of myself. Yes, it came from me. It was made from me. Still I drank deep. Still I drank
Okay, guys, the ninth song, Drink Deep. Whew. I mean, right from the first note, I was hit with that signature, Florence and the Machine theatricality, as always. The kind of sound that feels larger than life, yet intimate. The opening line, through Brumble and Brer, on the ash and oak. Guys, I went to find the hidden folk. That line immediately sets this mystical, almost the fairy tale tone. You know, it's cinematic. It's eerie. It definitely pulls you into her world right away. Florence's vocals here, are nothing short of a breathtaking. Her voice carries this ethereal quality. It's soft. It's delicate. It's soft and delicate in one moment, soaring and commanding the next. Those, ululated crescendos, definitely hit me hard. Giving the track this feeling of urgency and longing. You can really, really sense her emotions. There's both wonder and a kind of haunting sadness, sort of intertwined. Yes, I know if that makes sense, but vocally, she really, really went in as always. Now, definitely have to talk about the lyrics. Based on a few facts that I pulled up, fans online, have been buzzing about, the hidden folk, and I think, it's a brilliant, symbolism. On the surface, it feels like, a mystical journey, almost a fairy tale quest, but, when you dig deeper, it seems to explore the cost of desire, the cost of fame, and even personal ambition. The gifts of wealth and glory, come with a price. Certain lines in there, like they gave me gowns and riches. My skin began to fade. I feel like that line really, really drove home, duality, of reward versus sacrifice. It's like Florence, is blending folklore with the metaphor, for real life struggles, and to me that is what makes her storytelling so compelling. You get a song that's mystical yet deeply human. Now, talking about the instrumentation and the production, guys, I feel like the production, on this track, is masterful. There's this lush, layering of strings, subtle percussion, and those, ambient flourishes that give it a mystical, almost otherworldly vibe. Every single instrument, feels intentional, nothing is wasted, and yet, it never overshadows, her vocals, which, are always, front and center. Standout moments for me, the chorus, guys, haunting and unforgettable. I also love the bridge, where the instrumentation, swirls and Florence's voice, climbs, to those high spine-tingling notes. The way the track balances intensity and intimacy definitely, keeps you engaged, from start to finish. A little critique, if I'm being fair, this song, may not be for everyone. It's not an immediate pop hit. It's definitely a slow burn, immersive experience. If you're looking for something straightforward, or radio friendly, it might feel a bit too abstract or theatrical. But if you love storytelling through music, and a blend of mysticism, and emotion, this is definitely a standout track. Overall, I have to say, after listening to this song, Drink Deep, is a masterclass in haunting, emotional storytelling through music. Florence and the Machine, they have once again crafted that, I feel like lingers long after, the song ends. Mystical, emotional, and sonically gorgeous. It's exactly the kind of track that, reminds you why, we love her music in the first place. So that's just me. I really, really want to hear from you. What did you think, of the, Hidden Folk? Did you interpret the story, the same way I did, or do you have your own theory? Please drop your thoughts down in the comment section. I love reading your interpretations, guys. We are almost getting to the end of this album, so we move on to the 10th song, titled "Music by Men." Yes, let's take a listen.
Notes from you fall out, all the love that came my way. I found a way to push away. I don't wanna be afraid anymore. I don't wanna run from love like I had before. And on the way to couples therapy, you put your headphones in so you didn't have to talk to me. Listening to our own demos on the ride home. You have a bigger ego than you think you do. Slide down in my seat so as not to threaten you. Let it be us, let it be home, falling asleep and not looking at our phone. 'Cause I know how to fall in love, I do it constantly. I fall in love with everyone I meet for 10 minutes at least. But then comes the work, the resentments, and the hurt. Picking at your haircut and that stupid bad t-shirt. I always thought I was nice, I thought I was kind, until I tried to do something that was almost real life. It's not like what I've seen in TV shows. It's not like what I've read in books. It's so much harder than it looks. And there isn't much applause if it required practice, dedication. I just got bored. We discussed something called compromise, a brand new concept that I never tried. Let it be us, let it be home, falling asleep and not looking at our phone. Listening to a song by the 1975, I thought, fuck it, I might as well give music by men a try. Let there be love, let there be light, let there be a quiet day and an easy night. Let me put out a record and have it not ruin my life. Let it be us, let it be home, let it not be a spotlight standing alone, running back to the only love I could ever control.
So yeah, guys, so that was the 10th song, music by Men, by Florence, and the Machine. And guys, wow, I mean, I have so many thoughts. This is one of those tracks, that I feel like I'll sneak up on you. I love the fact that it's subtle, but it hits hard, emotionally. Yeah, right from the start, you can feel, Florence's signature intensity, but it's more restrained here. The production by Aaron Dessner, is delicate yet, powerful. There's this ethereal quality, but it never feels overdone. You immediately know this isn't just a pop song. It's storytelling. Florence's, vocals, are always, stunning. There's this raw vulnerability in the way she sings, especially certain lines in there, breaking my bones, getting 4 out of 5, listening to a song, by the 1975. I mean, she balances, playfulness and frustration in such a way that, to me feels personal, but also universally relatable. You can tell, she's reflecting on the challenges, of being a woman, in the industry, in the music industry, and she does it without, sounding preachy. I don't know if that makes sense. Yes. The lyrics, are clever and sharp. The title, Music by Men, is a bit provocative, if you ask me. I mean, she uses it as a lens, to explore ambition, relationships, and gender dynamics. There is also a real tension, in the song between a personal desire and societal expectation, which to me makes it deeper than your average track. Musically, I mean, it's minimalist, compared to some of the, you know, Florence's, bombastic, anthems. The soft guitar lines, I mean, subtle percussion and layered vocals, creates this intimate yet, haunting vibe. It's the kind of song that grows on you after multiple listens. I have to say, I mean, because there's so much texture. You catch new details, every time. That's just my personal observation when it comes to the instrumentation and then the production. Standout moments for me. I feel like the lyrics, the lyric delivery, in the chorus, is perfectly paced and emotionally charged. The understated production definitely lets Florence's voice shine without overwhelming it. The bridge section also has a, haunting melodic, a shift that to me feels like a quiet explosion. Very cinematic, very Florence. My overall thoughts after listening to this song. Music by men, to me, is a smart, thoughtful, and emotionally resonant track. It's not your instant grab pop banger. It's a slow burn that sticks with you. Florence definitely shows again that she can take personal experience and turn it into art. That challenges you as a listener. Definitely makes you think, and yet it remains beautiful to listen to. So guys, yeah, that's just what I think about this one. Let me know what you guys think about the song. Did you catch all the subtle details in the production? Do you feel like Florence is making a statement about the music industry, or is it more personal? Please drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear from you guys. Yes, we are moving on to the 11th song. You Can Have It All. Let's take a listen, guys.
Sit in salt water, calling a vision of my daughter. Light a candle, place my grief upon the altar. A bird in my hands, a flower, a song. I used to think I knew what sadness was. I was wrong, a piece of flesh, £1,000,000. Am I a woman now? A crescent moon and apple sliced thick in the sky. The air smells of fruit and smoke. The season is ripe. I stay in the house, move the furniture about. Try and control what I can and feel the world slip through my hand. You can have it dug a hole in the garden and buried a scream, and from it grew a bright red tree shining with jagged leaves, and when the wind blows you can hear it. Dug a hole in the garden and buried a scream, and from it grew a bright red tree shining with jagged leaves, and when the wind blows you can hear it.
Wow, guys, yes, the 11th song, You Can Have It All. Guys, I have to say, I mean, Florence's voice in here is just wow. It's that trademark, I mean, tremulous, ethereal quality, she has me, but layered with such intensity. You can hear the emotion trembling in every single note, especially as she sings, as the strings swirl in the background. I mean, she's singing about loss, she's singing about devotion, and maybe even confronting her own limitations. And I mean, it's all delivered, with this fierce vulnerability. I have to say, musically, this track is intense, without being over the top. I mean, those pounding drums, paired with the discordance in the strings, and really, really give it this epic, almost in a cinematic feel. I love the fact that it's dramatic, but not in a way that a distraction from the lyrics. It actually amplifies them. I love how the production balances. I mean, the heaviness, of the theme, with this haunting beauty. The lyrics to me are what's really, really hit here. There is this interplay between offering something up, dealing with grief, and questioning what having it all really, really means. It's layered and open to interpretation. I love the fact that it's poetic. Florence the Machine, style. I feel like this song, could resonate differently, depending on what someone is going through. Standout moments for me, I mean, that bridge around 2 minutes and 30 seconds, part. I mean, where the strings, swirl, and I mean, Florence, hits those sorry notes, chills. That was just an absolute chills. The outro, also has this a bittersweet closure. That feels like a release. Almost like a ritual letting go. It's the kind of moments that makes you want to sit back, just absorb everything. Honestly, this track, you can have it all. It's one of those Florence tracks, and that grows on you instantly. But also sticks with you long after. I mean, it's emotional, it's poetic, and powerful without being overbearing. I also love the fact that it's theatrical. Yes, but intimate too. A rare balance. And for me, this is definitely one of the standout moments of this album. Everybody scream. So yeah, if you are into Florence style, hauntingly beautiful vocals, and I mean deep, reflective lyrics, this is definitely a must listen. I can really, really see this being a fan favorite live. Yes, I mean the energy and the devotion would be unreal on stage. Yes, that's just what I think. Let me know, guys. What do you think about this one? Does this song hit you? As hard as it hit me. Are you interpreting the lyrics the same way, or I mean, do you get a totally different vibe? Please drop your thoughts down the comment section. I really, really want to hear your take. Yes, guys. Finally, we are here, about to listen to the final song titled "And Love." Yes, let's take a listen, guys. Okay.
And love was not what I thought it was. It crept up on me despite myself. And it was not a love song, it was something else. More like surrendering to something, and more like resting than running. Peace is coming, peace is coming, peace is coming, peace is coming. And love was not what I thought it was. More like an animal crawling deep into a cave than a romance novel heroine being swept away. More like surrendering to something, and more like resting than running. Peace is coming. Peace is coming. Was not what I thought it
Okay, guys. Yes. So that was the final track, off of this album, uh, and love. Wow, guys. Straight off, I have to say, this song, feels, so different, from the other tracks. I love the fact that it's soft, it's intimate and almost fragile. You know, I mean, you can hear the harp, the subtle piano, the synth layering delicately underneath Florence's vocals. It's like, she is gently letting us in, whispering rather than commanding. Definitely a contrast, to the big, bombastic numbers, earlier in the album. And I love that. I mean, it definitely feels like a moment to breathe, to reflect, to just be. Now, the lyrics, wow. There's a lot, going on here, but the main theme, seems to be surrounding, to love, not in the cliche romantic sense, but I mean, in a real, vulnerable human way. Certain lines in there, and love was not, what I thought it was, more like an animal crawling deep into a cave, more like surrendering than running. Guys, think about it. That's deep. Florence, is reflecting on life. Healing, and the kind of love, that's about rest and acceptance. Rather than chasing or conquering. I mean, after an album, full of intensity, trauma, and raw emotions, ending on this note to me, feels, intentional. It's almost like a reward for the listener, a quiet exhale. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah. But I also love the production, the instrumentation, the production, everything was just, I mean, out of this world, Musically, this is a more minimalist track, but that doesn't make it any less powerful. The harp lines are gorgeous. The synth textures definitely feel ethereal, and her voice, guys, I mean, it's just floating over everything. You can tell, that every sound was placed intentionally to create a sense of intimacy and calm. I also love the fact that it's reflective. Yes, but there's also a kind of subtle strength in here. It's very Florence and the Machine. I mean, dramatic. In her own gentle way. Yes, some standout moments for me, guys. Definitely the bridge, where her vocals, gets slightly layered. I mean, it's definitely haunting. And the way the instrumentation swirls, just a little, without ever, overpowering her voice, guys. It's perfect. It's the kind of song that makes you want to close your eyes, and just feel it. Honestly, it's a beautiful way to close an emotionally heavy album. Now, if I'm being honest, this song, is not a track, for everyone. I mean, it's a slow. I mean, it's definitely slow. It's subtle, and it to me, it requires you to really, really pay attention. Fans expecting another big, Florence moment, might be left a little, underwhelmed. you know, but for what it's trying to do, offer a reflective, almost meditative ending. I mean, it absolutely succeeds, in my opinion. So my final thoughts: this song and love, is a beautiful, intimating conclusion to this album. Everybody Scream. It's soft, it's vulnerable, and incredibly well crafted. Florence and the Machine show once again that they can make music that's dramatic and delicate, raw and tender. I really, really appreciate, how it ties together the themes of the albums, while giving us, a moment, to just breathe, Yes, that's just me. Now, I want to hear from you. What do you guys think about this song and love? What do you think this song really, really means? Do you feel like it's a perfect ending to the album, or were you hoping for something more explosive? Drop your thoughts down in the comments, and of course, I mean, if you enjoyed this review, smash that like button and subscribe, for more Florence the Machine content, reactions and album deep dives. Yes. So, guys, 12 songs and wow, wow. I have to say, Everybody Scream, might not be Florence's most emotionally intense album yet. I mean, on this album, I love the fact that she's not afraid to confront pain. She's not afraid to confront femininity and power head on. I mean, she turns it into something transcendental. Honestly, this might not be one of her most cohesive and cathartic projects yet. Every track to me feels intentional, and every scream feels earned. Yes. I mean, I'll definitely give this one a hard 8.5 out of 10. Yes. But that is just me. That's just what I think about this album, after listening to it. So, what do you guys also think? What's your favorite track, on this album, Everybody Scream? Do you prefer this darker, more cinematic, Florence, or her earlier, ethereal sound? Please let me know down the comment section. I love reading your takes, guys. If you enjoyed this breakdown, give it a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and turn that notification bell. So you never miss any of my deep dives. Yes, thanks for watching. Until next time, remember, if you've got something to scream about, just let it out. Yes. Peace out.